Thanks for joining us. I'm John Adams. It's been a soggy Sunday across the area with some very heavy downpours at times and a sunbreak or two mixed in as well. Taking a live look outside, it's 53 degrees right now in the Rose City. Let's get right to meteorologist Joe Ranieri. And Joe, it's starting to feel more like a normal October here in the Pacific Northwest.
That is exactly right. And you talked about it was a soggy Sunday. It was a soggy Saturday as well. I have the rainfall amounts for the last 2 days, and you can see over in Salem, over an inch and a half over in Newport. A lot of the Oregon coastline saw a good amount of rain. PDX just 84/100ths of an inch of rain, just a little over that. And over in Southwest Washington, Vancouver and Kelso, right around an inch. And that was the case throughout a lot of locations along the Washington coast as well. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 53 degrees, and we are going to be seeing some dry conditions tonight and going into the morning hours. But again, we're still going to be seeing some spotty showers at times looking into your Monday. So here we are, a little after midnight, still picking up some heavy cells moving in over along the central part of the Willamette Valley and up and down the I-5 corridor. There could be some areas of dry conditions, but there also could be some heavy downpours as you get ready to start off your commute tomorrow morning. Also, the yellows and oranges you see out there, those are the chances to see some thunderstorms developing at times tomorrow. So that thunderstorm threat will be sticking around heading into your Monday, the last Monday of October. And look at this, a little bit of some snow showers. And coming up my detailed forecast, I'll talk more about the snow. They've seen a couple of inches outside Timberline Lodge, and things get a little bit better over the next couple of days. But as we look at the radar, still we've been seeing a little bit of some lightning strikes here and there. Nothing here locally, but as we kind of see the, out in the Pacific, those kind of cotton ball looking clouds, that's just kind of indicative of some unstable air out there. And that's going to be moving in heading into Monday as well. That just means more downpours, some sunbreaks, some hail, and maybe some lightning strikes and thunderstorms. Picking up a little bit of some snow showers now outside Timberline Lodge, and it is looking really pretty out there. And John, I do have some live cameras to show you coming up on my detailed forecast. Not only that, some Futurecast models are showing a good amount of snow by the middle part of this week. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll see you later in the show. We do have some breaking news to get to out of Clackamas, where a person has been hit and killed by a train. It happened around 6:30 this evening along the I-205 multi-use path near Southeast 85th Avenue. Amtrak confirmed to KGW that the incident involved a passenger train from Seattle that was heading south towards Eugene. They said there were no injuries on board, and the train continued on after a 2.5-hour delay. We'll bring you more information about what happened as soon as we receive it. A man was shot and killed in Northeast Portland earlier this morning. Our Sydney Dorner spoke with people who saw the chaotic aftermath unfold.
I was able to talk with two neighbors in the Sabin neighborhood, where cops found a man dead inside a car parked off Northeast 20th and Prescott. One neighbor says they heard someone screaming, "Help me," and the other says they heard loud cries after police arrived. Early Sunday morning, a Northeast Portland woman woke up to someone banging on her window.
And I didn't see anything, but I kept hearing somebody help me. I kept thinking I was hearing that, but it was really faint. Shortly after, she says 7 cop cars and an ambulance arrived at the area off Northeast 20th and Prescott. Finding out from her neighbors, a man was shot and killed. I feel really disturbed about it. It's really scary. Portland police say they found the man dead inside a car parked on the curb of the street. Another woman living a few feet from the scene says she peeked out of her backyard after hearing a loud boom.
It doesn't feel safe to know that there's a gunshot in front of my house.
Noticing 2 cars parked in the middle of the street.
There was a car that they just had a door open, and but there was just a car. There's also another car that was a Jeep, I think. Some sort of Jeep that was just right there.
Both women say the police were there until about 6 a.m., closing off the block as they investigated. Frightened this happened on a holiday weekend when many people were out late.
I thought about our kids, if they were still out and about on a weekend night before Halloween.
That could have been me coming home from a party or someone else, one of my neighbors.
Portland Police's homicide unit is investigating the case and asking anyone with information to come forward. Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
Portland police are looking for the suspects in an armed robbery of a Northeast Portland deli this morning. Now, this is cell phone video from a neighbor as two masked men were seen at Joseph's Deli and Lottery on Northeast Halsey. This was around 6:30 this morning. You can see the suspects getting into a white Acura sedan and driving away. The neighbor said it comes on the heels of another recent robbery attempt.
It's pretty disturbing, on a deep level. It's like, everyone's just trying to get by, and there's a lot of criminals out here just trying to steal other people's stuff. And yeah, it sucks.
The owner of Joseph's Deli says nothing was taken from the store before the suspects took off. Call Portland police if you know anything. A 16-year-old boy is facing firearm charges after a traffic stop last night turned up a loaded handgun. That stop was just before 6 p.m. near Northeast 75th and Fremont. Portland police say the teen was a passenger in the car and this gun was found under his seat. He was booked into juvenile detention for unlawful possession. The 18-year-old driver was cited for driving with a suspended license and no insurance. The car was towed. Well, there's a little over a week until Election Day, and tensions are running high, including in Lynn County, where the local Democratic Party headquarters was vandalized this week. Sometime Tuesday night, someone threw a rock through the window of the party offices in Albany. No one was inside at the time, but it caused about $800 in damage.
The past election cycles that we've had a seasonal campaign office, we've never had any kind of vandalism or acts of threats or intimidation like this.
In an act of bipartisanship, the Lynn County Republican Party spoke out against the vandalism and worked with Democrats to help replace that window. Meantime, the office staff said they're not intimidated and painted the rock that came through the window to commemorate the incident. Police are still looking for the person responsible. Well, you've probably seen the ads on TV and the flyers in your mailbox. This election, Oregonians are going to be asked to decide whether to take ranked choice voting statewide. Our Celine Stevens is live in the newsroom to break it all down for us. Celine?
John, so if passed, Measure 117 would implement statewide ranked choice voting, a voting method already implemented in Portland as of this November. Some believe it'll improve the voting system, but others say it might not do all that it promises it will.
The complexity issue of RCV hides the inequality issue of RCV.
It's had a lot of judicial review, and it can be trusted.
Ballot Measure 117 would give voters the option to rank candidates in order of preference for federal and statewide elections. This alternative voting method has already been implemented in Benton County, and for the first time this November, will be used in Portland for citywide elections. Supporters say they believe it eliminates voters feeling like their vote must be strategic.
You get to vote a much more expressive ticket where you can say which candidates you prefer first, second, and third.
For single winner ranked choice voting, whatever candidates earn over half the votes in a round win. And for multi-winner elections like city council, a candidate with over 25% of the vote wins. If a winner can't be chosen at first, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and their votes go to the voter's next highest ranked choice. But Mark Frohnmeyer with the Equal Vote Coalition points out some potential flaws.
You could imagine a four-candidate race in RCV where there's approximately equal support for all of the candidates as the first choice, like 26, 25, 25, 24. But that 24 candidate is the 100% consensus second choice of all the other voters. 76% of the voters will not have their second choice counted at all in that election.
He says ranked choice voting allows voters to express their preference in order, but still doesn't count every preference. But supporters say it empowers voters, providing them with more options than the more standard voting style.
You feel like you have to vote for those candidates when in reality, there could be someone else that shares your values, your perspective. With Measure 117, it's really opening up voters to vote in the way that feels the most genuine to them.
Supporters out canvassing for the measure this weekend say this can be an answer. Still, some of the possible flaws with the method leave some skeptical.
What I'm looking for as a voter and as a voting reform advocate is, are durable, truly fair reforms. Unfortunately, this one falls short of that goal.
If the measure passes, it will be implemented for statewide and federal races in 2028. It's already set to be implemented for Multnomah County elections in 2026. John?
All right, Celine, thank you. Well, tonight there's a new warning about false threats and fake videos trying to fool voters before they go to the polls. Now, the FBI says they know where some of it is coming from. NBC's Mara Barrett reports.
Donald Trump.
Amid concerns over this video appearing to show someone ripping up mail-in ballots for Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, the FBI is now warning the fake video is a product of Russian actors who manufactured and amplified the video as part of Moscow's broader effort to raise unfounded questions about the integrity of the U.S. election. The video, the latest following the propaganda playbook, like this fake news report about a car accident involving Vice President Harris, or this phony story about Ukrainian officials using U.S. money to buy yachts, both debunked as fake. Pennsylvania's Secretary of State urging voters to seek out the truth.
Turn to trusted sources of information when it comes to answering your questions about elections.
U.S. intelligence agencies warning in the run-up to the election, Americans will be bombarded with even more false content.
We're seeing more disinformation now than we've ever seen it before.
Darren Linville, the co-director of the Media Forensics Hub at Clemson University, tracks online election propaganda.
What is the ultimate goal of these foreign actors with these disinformation campaigns?
A very common goal, especially of Russia, is to divide us. If we're fighting amongst ourselves, then Putin gets to do whatever he wants.
It's not just Russia. A threat intelligence report from Microsoft says Iran is gearing up for additional influence operations, and China is shifting focus to down-ballot races. The disinformation, in some cases, delivered directly to voters, like these text messages sent to young people in Wisconsin, falsely threatening that students from out of state could be fined or even jailed for voting there. Tanisha Vanden Langenberg, a senior at the University of Wisconsin, received the text, though it's still unclear who sent it.
It created a lot of talk on campus where it was like, wait, can I vote or can't I vote?
Students are allowed to vote in the state, but the confusion created is exactly what disinformation campaigns want. Maura Barrett, NBC News.
Well, back here locally, a parody statue of former President Donald Trump that was turning heads in downtown Portland today has now been mostly destroyed. The life-size statue appeared this morning on Southwest 6th between Alder and Morrison, next to the famed nude woman statue that stood there for nearly half a century. The statue depicts Trump with his hand in a sexually suggestive position, standing above a plaque with a quote from that infamous Access Hollywood tape in which he bragged about sexually assaulting women. Sometime this afternoon, the head of the statue was ripped off along with that plaque. So far, no one has claimed responsibility for the pop-up installation.